I think we haven't solved the problem in our conversation, but I do think we have some.
We're not solving problems, we're playing. It's not about results.
We're just playing.
We're just playing. Yeah, really. That's what this is. It's just a conversation. It's not about results. It's not about coming to a conclusion.
But look at us. I want results, man. I want to see change.
Shalom, friends. Welcome to Orange Socks, a podcast celebrating Jewish creativity. I'm your host, Yitzchak Muli, inviting you to join me in exploring the soul of Jewish expression.
Shalom, friends, and welcome to the Orange Socks podcast. Very much not in the studio, but somewhat beautiful. And I'm here together with Nechama Hordiner. Shalom, Nechama.
Hi. Excited to be here.
Yes. We've crossed paths many times.
Yes.
For many years.
I think artists tend to do.
Artists tend to do that.
You know, right?
But I cornered you.
I'm lucky.
And you're real creative because about 3 hours ago, we didn't know we were doing this.
Right.
So that's the way I like it.
That's right.
Some people you got to schedule months in advance, and then some people are
exactly. Yeah.
Spontaneous.
Right.
Yeah. We're here in Stanford at some beautiful hotel, and it's we just wrapped up the Kinus Hamachanchois. It's a big word.
It is.
The gathering of Chabad teachers, female teachers.
Right.
And I was coming and showing a whole bunch of my interactive stuff, and you were here showcasing.
So we were doing some crafts.
Seminary.
Yes, I was here promoting Tzohar, and we sort of found a way for me to do that on the DL just by doing some creative experiences for the mechanchois, for the educators, to give them a little taste of like what it means to take a Hasidic concept and mull it over, and then try to create something through that thought process. So
Ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
That's if I have to nutshell Tzohar. That would
well,
be.
we're gonna get to Tzohar. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning let's start at the intersection of your Jewish and creative journeys and how they intersected.
Dude, it starts so long ago. That's not so long. I'm not that old, but like about 26 years ago, I started my journey from Kite, and I went to an arts high school. So really it starts
Where?
there, in Toronto. I'm from Toronto.
Ah. Okay.
Yes, and it was like a little bit of like this fame. I don't know if it's a movie about an arts high school. Anyway, it was a lot like that. I was a dancer, I was a photographer, I have always been an artist. It's like a soul thing. It's like, It's how I process
You
things.
are so lucky you went to an arts high school.
So lucky. We danced every day. And they brought in all these professional dancers to teach us, different styles of dance. It was really like, when I say like every art form is a language, we learned all the words of this language. Any possible thing they could teach us, they taught us, and I was really so grateful. And then I became frum, and I didn't know how to. It's so hard to dance as a woman, right? So I didn't have a lot of outlets. So I started doing.
But dance was your primary.
That was my primary mode of expression, just because I'd been doing it so long. But I've always been good with my hands. I build things. I'm always learning new ways of creating things. And then when I was actually in high school, I worked in a bead store, and I learned how to make jewelry. And I started selling my jewelry, and then I was going to art college for jewelry. And I was in art college, and I was like, I don't want to be here. Art is actually interesting because it can be so pretentious.
Right. So high school, I don't know, art high school seems like it was more carefree, again, this is my imagination. As in art high school versus art college. Art college seems like there's a certain heaviness and weight and pretentiousand pretentiousness to it. Whereas high school is, you're just figuring out and you're having fun and, High School Musical kind of.
Yeah, a little bit of that, yes. And it's an interesting thing because, you're 100% right. The expectation was really heavy. There was a lot of prerequisites that we had to do. So I wanted to do jewelry design, and I had to learn how to do like 3D modeling, and I had to do 2D modeling, and I had to do like color theory, and I had to do all these things that were interesting but not directly related to jewelry making. So it was a little boring.
Right.
And I didn't like it. And I was like, and every artist just was like, my work is so meaningful, and I just couldn't get into that headspace.
Right.
And I had just gotten back from Israel, actually. That probably had something to do with it. And the Holy Land just transformed me. It was literally me and a passion flower. You ever seen a passion flower?
A passion fruit flower? Yes.
Right?
They're beautiful.
They're like,
passion flower. Never thought of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was like, oh, this is literally where I just wanted to connect to Hashem. It was something like a drive in me that I was like, okay, so I get on a bus and I just dropped everything. I dropped out of university and I went straight to Crown Heights. And then I just couldn't figure out how to integrate them. And that caused me a lot of pain for a lot of years, actually, because it was like stuffing. It was like I didn't know how to do it. And I actually, in Machon Chana, interviewed a whole bunch of artists and asked them, like, how did you integrate? How did you do it? I made a film. I don't know where that film is right now, but I made a film about it.
It should be on YouTube.
What? I don't even know if it exists anymore.
Oh, come on. No, that's not fair. No.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I was obsessed with this, like, how am I going to marry these two things? Because to me, self-expression, at that point, I don't know if I've even really thought through this and processed it, but like it was so prescribed that I couldn't figure out how to express myself.
Self-expression was so prescribed?
Yiddishkeit. Like
Judaism was so
Judaism at Machon Chana
Right.
in Crown Heights was a very,
Right.
like, this is how we do it. And I
Right.
couldn't understand how to, like, be myself in it. Not yet. Took me time.
Right. But you didn't give up, which is...
Yeah, no.
God bless you. No,
The
thanks.
The soul doesn't let you. It's like you don't have a choice, you know? The soul urges you.
Yeah, but at the same time, you could crush that soul.
Yeah, and people do.
And people have, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Super sad. Yeah, absolutely. And I actually, it's interesting. I want to move to
Sure.
my experience just now because
Right.
it's fresh for me.
Yeah.
And people coming into the space, and I explain that, like, every art form is a language. Every language has specific words. You need to learn the words. You have to learn the edges of every art form, right? Because what can it do? What can it not do? Like, what can clay do that, paint can't do?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
to, like, understand each one to understand, well, which language am I going to use to express an idea? Like, I have this idea and I want to express it and make something, but how do I do it? Do I make a painting? Do I, and you don't have all of them at your disposal unless you've learned them.
Or you know about them.
Or you know about them,
Right.
and but then there's another element to creativity, which is just playfulness.
Right.
You just play and you just let yourself just
With
experience
each one
it.
of these
Yeah.
mediums. Yeah.
Yeah, and people are so intolerant of play, like, it's, especially as adults, and I feel like it's such a hard thing to lose. And when I say play, in my mind, I equate it with, like, creative, like, it's not creative expression, it's like just permission to
Yeah.
create something.
Well, its play is also non-result oriented.
Yes.
Like
So they
it's
were like,
not-
what do I make? What
Right,
should I make?
right.
And I was like, Tachlis, what am I
Right,
making? I was
results.
like,
I
I
need to
don't
come
know.
out with something, right?
That
I
is
need to-
not my,
Right,
that's
right.
for you and your soul to figure out.
No, because for them, if they walk out without something, or if they do walk out with something, then okay, this was worth it. This past hour was I created this, rather than
I just processed
experienced,
something.
and
It's like how we're obsessed with taking pictures of
Right.
things instead of just being with it. Just
Right.
be there. Don't worry about taking pictures to document for later. Just be
Right.
in the experience.
No, to be honest, I struggle with that because my art form is my bottom line. That's my source of livelihood and my income.
Yeah.
So
You're so brave, by the way. Well, can I
thank
tell you a quick
Do you
story?
know who's more brave? My wife.
Yes. Yes, she is. A quick story, when I twice my mother cried. I went to art school. She's like, how are you going to make a living? How are you going to feed yourself? What do you mean you're going to be an artist? And I was like, Ma, don't worry.
We'll figure it out.
Like, I don't know, but this is what I have to do. It's like,
Right.
It's who I am. And then when I told her I was moving to Crown Heights, then the tears, like, really flew. She's like, why are you going there? Why? It's like,
But she didn't ask how you're going to make a living?
I know. Anyway, but so that's why I think to call yourself an artist and do that as your vocation is so brave. It really is.
It is brave. I'm
Take it.
Yes. 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 And I'm missing out of this play sometimes because my mind just thinks like product. Like I'm
interesting.
Like my mind, I'm and people ask me, and thank God, it's like, oh, here's what's your next thing? What else are you working on? And recently, a school, one of my new projects, this mezuzah thing, was I got on a call with my wife's school, and they're like, we just bought our building after 20 years, and we're having our dinner, 20 years, 25 years, they're having their dinner, they want something meaningful, engaging, interactive at the dinner that's connected to the new building.
Those are great.
Which is great. And the beautiful thing is that they told me afterwards that they were thinking of different things, like reaching out to different people, and the principal kept going, could we just call Morley? And I was like, yeah, could we just call Morley? just got like, and so they called me and we brainstormed and we came up with this, and I love it, and it's really powerful. This mezuzah and interactive, and everyone's involved, and it does. It's meaningful, it's engaging, it's very interactive cool. At the dinner, connect to the building, but it's product.
Yes.
So
yes.
Listen.
Do you play?
Not enough. That's my point. Not enough.
Me neither. Which is so funny. I will create all of these experiences for other people, and not do it myself.
Right.
And it's actually.
So we need to play.
Yeah, we need to play.
We need to.
I don't know. You ever read The Artist's Way?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like an artist date where you take yourself and you just give yourself an hour. I literally gave that advice to someone today. I'm like, she's like, I love this. Like, I miss it so much. I was like, then you owe yourself an hour a week to do this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was interesting is managing people's perfectionism was like massive.
Right.
Like on one hand, it's like, what do I make? I want to feel successful. I want to walk out of here with something. And I actually think that's a really deep concept for us as neshamas and bodies, because I think, and I'm only theorizing here, I haven't seen this, but like we want to produce something because we have an urge to put our knowledge and our creativity into the world. We have that need almost. And I think that when we produce a thing and we say, I made this, we're sort of like relating to Hashem's creative power, and it feels really good for us,
But
it's
at
like
the same time,
as
Chabad people, the Rebbe said, so like Hamais Ikar, action.
Yes.
Like quantifiable action. Put fun on someone, light Shabbos candles. Keep going, so
product.
Yeah.
And
it's godly product, and it's special, and it's but God also, there's room for just play.
I think about koyachma and chochma, and I always, to me, it is imagination. That's chochma.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like
absolutely.
Chochma is that place of like all possibilities. What? The place of the power of what? And then if you can get to a question, like if you can get yourself to like, well, how do I feel about that? Or, what do I want to see more of in the world? Or, what's missing in my life? You start with that question, well, then you can start working on a process to get yourself to the product. It's an idea that comes here, and then you start giving it dimension, and you're like, how? And then you think through a path, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna start learning the language and doing it and putting it into the world, and you concretize it, But you first have to have that space to say, well, what? Yeah. What do I need? What do I want? What's what?
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So I feel so grateful to have been here, and I'm really excited to actually have this time to process it with you.
Good, my
because
pleasure.
It's what's cool is just every single person was meant for me, right? Everything we do and everything we see is meant exactly for us at every moment, and every interaction I had with a person. And I don't mean this narcissistically, but was literally mirroring something I have going on with me that I have to process. So one woman literally would not touch the clay. She just wouldn't touch it. And I convinced her.
But she stayed in the room.
She stayed in the room. I convinced her. I was like, just come. And she's like, I'm not creative. I was like, that's not true. I said, something is keeping you talking to me, right? You could have just walked away. So you want this somehow. Something in you needs this.
Yeah.
And then she stayed in the room. And she chose colors. So I was like, okay, you chose colors, excellent. I was like, now you're gonna unwrap the packages. It was like exposure therapy. I was like, just unwrap the packages and let's see how that feels.
Right.
And then she's like, okay. I was like, great, okay, so we're next step. I want you to just smush it in your hand. Just put your warmth on the clay and give it your love. That's it, you know? And just like be there with it. And she slowly made something. And then she was telling me how like she has a lot of family that's very, very creative, and she's like the black sheep. And so she's exposed to a lot of like people who can just make stuff and do stuff.
But then it's so intimidating.
It was so intimidating.
Yeah.
And
so she'd prefer not to engage than to engage and fail.
And
or to show what she made. And it's like,
yeah,
you know, or not that anyone else would necessarily say that to her, but that she felt that, how does my creation stack up to their creations? Yeah. She
had this really cool idea to make fidget bracelets for her kids in her class. So she made all these beads, and we strung them, and now she has these like little fidget bracelets that she's gonna like, and she was so proud. You could see the nachas, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so, Maura doesn't make a lot of stuff, but this I made for them. I made this for them. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
It was to me like so powerful, because I think that we think we're adults and this kind of stuff is for kids. But over and over again, I teach and I see like it's so meaningful and powerful. So I want to bring us to Tzohar. Is that okay?
Sure, please, absolutely.
Because what I think is so incredible, like our tagline, we just came up with a tagline. It's where the greatest work of art is you. Right? Catchy, yeah? I'm proud of it. That was not me, that was Rabbi Herman. But the idea is that you are always a work in progress.
Yeah.
You know? And you have to honor the fact that you are continuously growing by feeding yourself Torah and giving yourself opportunities to express what you're learning. Right? Because I used to call this like docimatizing, like to like docimatize the idea, you have to bring it to integrate it fully. It really helps to create something. I don't know, maybe that's not for everybody, but the girls who belong at Tzohar are the girls that, you know, don't have to be artists.
So for those who don't know, what is Tzohar?
Oh yeah, thanks. Backtrack. Tzohar Seminary is in Pittsburgh. It was started by Amy Gooderson, who is an actress, and Rabbi Herman, and they just saw the need for like
I've been trying to have Amy on, so please God, we started, we had technical glitches over the internet, we're going to make it happen.
Yes, she's here. She's in Pittsburgh, so it's easier. From Israel, it's harder. But she's a powerhouse of a woman and just gave her all into this thing, and she just made it come to life. And year after year, like it's been growing. And we want to show you through like literally the care and love and attention and commitment to your growth that this is good stuff. Don't walk away. Let us try.
From Judaism.
Not from Yiddishkeit, because we're not looking at girls who are like cusping off.
Right.
You know, some are, but there are rules. You know, the school's a school. It's still an institution. It still has to have rules, and we still want, you know, like some Gedarim, structure, and creativity needs structure, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like all languages have a structure.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm doing this justice. My husband is the director, so he's got a lot more of the language pinned. But I think the focus is like you don't have to be an artist, but you have to understand that self-expression is integral to your humanity. It's integral to your and it's not true for everybody.
And it's integral to your Judaism.
I think it's integral to Judaism. I think it's integral to like take your Judaism, make it your own, figure out your connection to Hashem and what it means for you specifically. Because if Hashem didn't believe that your way of serving him was going to give him nachas, you wouldn't have been created. So your way of serving God and your specific, you know, combination of midos and exactly how you are is perfect. In that you're still here. So right. So you have to like figure out how to connect to him. And I really do believe that art gives you this ability to take an idea, process it really, really all the way down through into your hands, into your speech, into your writing, into whatever. And it's a very powerful way. Actually, I think the Rebbe Rashab's, I just printed out a little snippet of a worksheet for the women to learn before. and there was about a mimer it was Rosh Hashanah, I think it was like 5659, something like that. The Rebbe Shaz says that speech comes from a higher level of the soul than thought, because to megushim something, to make it more physical, you need a higher source.
Right.
And when we talk about things,
Chassidus talks about that, right? When you articulate and talk and share and you create more, you
understand deeper.
The piece itself, more length, breadth, and depth.
Bina.
You have greater understanding yourself of the piece that you're talking to someone else about, kind of thing. So the act of speaking about it feeds you more than the idea that you have in your head.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a loop. And
here we are talking.
Exactly. And what I think is so powerful is that once they see their own thought process come out into speech, into language, into art, they get more inspired, and they're inspiring themselves. And it's like,
and each other.
Pardon?
And each other.
And each other, 100%. There is, every year it's this cohort of cohesion that it's like unbelievable. And I just think it's so beautiful to watch. The girls they do a presentation at the end of the year, and they get such nachas from themselves. I'm touching my mic, sorry.
Oh, good.
That nachas we feel from them getting to like perform, and not everybody does. We don't force anybody to perform.
Right.
It's just like, I'm saying we. I really have to give all the credit to the teachers and my husband and Rabbi Herman and Amy. I really have very little to do with Tzohar. I'm just trying to promote it and trying to get more people to understand like who we are and what we believe in. And I think I think that creativity is so vital that we need to figure out how to put more of it into the world. So one of the things Tzohar does is we have this thing called Parsha Through the Arts, where the girls who want to learn how to teach will take classes about the integration of Art and Chassidus in the classroom, and then go and teach classes in other schools. In yeshiva schools of Pittsburgh. They'll go and teach classes where the girls have Parsha with art together, and like the inyan of the Parsha comes out through the art form and the artwork. So it's all very specific, but it's an experience where, like, you get to do a hands-on understanding of the Parsha through an art form. It's just, if we can train more teachers to do that, if we can train more teachers to allow more play, to allow more exploration, and more self-expression, I think that we're gonna raise a generation of people who really can connect to Hashem on a much deeper level.
Yeah, no, as you were saying when you first arrived in Crown Heights, and that you couldn't
there was nothing.
You couldn't find this balance of of your self-expression and the rigidity of Judaism as it was taught to you at that time.
Yeah. I don't think it's changed in 20 years. No offense. I mean, I know there are amazing teachers, and I know there are so many people who understand that creativity is integral, and I think that we're shifting, and we're really sort of honoring our emotions more, and we're honoring our integration process more. I think that's Mashiachdik, and I think the more we can focus on allowing creativity, I think we're scared of it.
Right.
I think we're a little scared of it. I don't know.
No, well, it's.
I don't know.
This results based. Like, okay, I'll let you do creativity, as long as I know what the result will be. Like I need, the parameters have to be
controlled.
Okay, it's controlled. So so we'll let you into the school. We'll let you teach Parsha. You're going to use this medium. There we go. We know what the end result will be. We know the finite parameters of where this creativity will go to. And okay, we can let you play inside this little sandbox. The problem is that you could fail. That, and not only fail as in it was a bad lesson and the kids didn't learn anything, but it could go the opposite direction. And that's, where it's not quantifiable, where creativity, could lead, it's unknown. There's too much unknown for. Could lead
where though? I mean.
Well,
I know what you're saying.
Easiest. I'm still trying to articulate this, vis-a-vis, the powers that be from 20 years ago, as you're saying, but. I mean, I don't know if this is fair or not. I'm just thinking out loud. Like we mentioned earlier, Matisyahu.
Yeah.
He came from his own world, and he became frum, and he had this rise stardom. And then I don't know him personally at all, so I don't know his journey. But he's off on his own journey, and he's coming back, and but like
we're scared of the journey.
We're scared. Well, we're scared. Look, he fell off the deep end, and we're scared.
I think getting into Chassidus and the black and white was the deep end.
Was the deep end also?
That's the deep end, man.
Yeah,
I don't know that he was.
He went back to the previous world that he had come from. I don't know. I mean, these machanchah, these teachers and these principals and so on. They do want to shelter their children. As parents, we want to shelter our children to some degree.
Yeah. I think a large part of why I became frum was to shelter my children, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
In a way, like I was like, I want there to be some kind of like structure to our values and structure to our lifestyle. And Yiddishkeit provides so much, like, good community, like good engagement. Like you have shul is a great place. I love going to shul. Not everybody does. Not everybody goes. But the social aspect for me is massive.
Right.
And I think like our holidays and our I think there's Shabbos, obviously, right? And I think in a way, like kashrus means like, sorry, Zizka, you can't eat that.
Right.
I think those parameters are wonderful, because having grown up in the 90s and having absolutely no rules at all whatsoever was really terrifying. It was terrifying. I couldn't trust myself to make the right decisions, because I'm like, I can do anything. And then when I was not making good choices, I was feeling like really bad about myself.
Felt the consequences.
Yeah, you feel the consequences. It's really hard, and you're young, and you don't know, and so like you're like, where are the adults, man?
Right.
So yeah, I wanted to be an adult, and I wanted to give my kids something that I felt was meaningful. And I have to say, learning Torah is bottomless. It's endless, and so it covers so much of our nature and our nurture, and it covers so much of our goals, our outlook, and so there's so much beauty in it. It's just, I don't want to say that the product isn't important, because the Maisa Hua Ikar is true. I think that sometimes the Maisa is the process itself is valuable, and we lose sight of that. We're losing sight of the idea that like just processing, slowing down, and just being uncomfortable with a new thing in front of you that you don't know how to use is okay. You're going to be okay.
Right.
And you're going to, I can't tell you how many women were like, did you finish making my thing? Did you finish it? Is it ready yet? I'm just like, but you had a process, and it was beautiful.
Right.
And just be there with your process. You made something, and you experienced something new, and it was great. And I promise you'll get the thing at the end. And also just like sit and be patient and be with it. And there's no like appreciation for that. Or there is, I think, but we need more of that. We need more of just, I don't know, here's some stuff, go play. I have to also say that I taught in a Reggio Emilia school, and that also made a big difference in my outlook. So I want to give credit to that, because we spend a lot of time thinking about why kids do what they do, how to help them.
Well, Reggio is all about following the children's creativity.
Yeah.
And allowing them to lead the process.
And so you just provide this sort of playground in the classroom of things where they are like, well, I don't know, how do you want to express that idea?
Right.
Here's a marker, here's an oil pastel, here's a chalk pastel, here's a pencil crayon, here's a crayon. They all do different things.
Right.
Now you have to learn the edges of each of these things, and you decide which one is the best for what you want to make. Right. And the kid, it's daunting, but when you are practicing that, it's like freeing, because now like, oh, I know exactly what to take. I know exactly how this is going to move. I know exactly what this is going to be like on my paper, and I know that this is the right thing for me to use to say this thing I want to say. Or
I don't know at all, and I'm going to explore.
Yes.
Right. And the other thing, I mean, going back to what you were saying about Tzohar, like, are the prompts the idea, the Judaic value, we'll call it, and then it's a question of now go find a medium that you can express it, or is the prompt a medium, filmmaking, music, dance, and now let's find an idea.
So they're happening simultaneously. So it's the same thing in the classroom. It's not like you're not teaching anything. You know what I'm saying? Like there's still some teaching that happens. Like a holiday's coming. Well, you know, you're gonna like bring the kalim of every holiday into the classroom. Like, you know, Pesach time, there's gonna be matzah, there's gonna be flour and water, there's gonna be Kiddush cups, and there's gonna be all the things on the Seder plate, right? And you're gonna experience them all. And at the same time, you have to, okay, how do I put this? Let me backtrack.
No, good.
You're learning Chassidus, you're learning Torah, you're learning Parsha, you're learning like Shalom Bayis, you're learning all these things. And they're being taught in a very sort of inspired way. Because Rabbi Herman, there's no one like Rabbi Herman. He's like juggling in the classroom. He's like breaking things in the class. He's like, you know, he's great. So you have this really dynamic Chassidus class, let's say. And at the same time, you're learning the language of the harp. Because you have always wanted to learn how to play the harp, and now you can because there's a harp teacher and we bought a harp for you. Okay? So now you're learning to play the harp. The harp has a structure you have to learn. And at the same time, you're learning Chassidus. And then you're tasked with a presentation. And so the goal is the presentation. You have all year, and you're going to collaborate maybe with others on how am I going to express a Chassidic concept through the harp.
So you can take any concept. Once you've decided on the harp, once one girl has decided she's going to focus on the harp. Mm-hmm. So she's going to take any concept and
anything that speaks to her.
And communicate it through the harp.
Yeah.
I love that.
Or a painting or a dance or you know, a film. And it's really interesting because these girls are not always grappling with like, you know, deep Hasidic concepts. They're grappling with like their relationships, and they're grappling with like their identity. And
what's their relationship to that idea? It's not explain the idea, you know, in using the harp, you know, like make a jingle of the idea. It's explaining your relationship to it.
Yeah,
Dasification.
Dasification. That's even better. Dasimatizing. Yeah. So you're trying to like, how do I feel about this concept?
Yeah.
What does this mean to me?
Yeah.
And I think that's not the only way to practice Yiddishkeit, but it is a very important way to it's a very important thing to add to how we practice Yiddishkeit. What do I think about this?
Right.
How am I going to live this?
Right.
And I think that's, to me, like the ultimate. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. That is hard. It's a hard thing to balance, because I even the school itself has gedarim that limitations that are hard, limitations that are hard for some people to adhere to.
Right.
You know, but there's so much love. Like there's so much like, we understand that this is hard for you, and we are going to be patient with you, and we appreciate your journey.
Right.
And we're with you on your journey. And I think that's like, the girls, my husband will always come home with stories of girls like saying like, I've never had like this kind of acceptance before. You have to accept the parts of you that want to explore things that you're not allowed to. Right. Those exist. You can't repressing them, and it's just going to make them scream louder. So what we want to do is we want to say, okay, I have a part of me, you know, and I don't know, I've been told my whole life it's bad. And I have to now try to integrate this bad part of myself into who I am. So you have to understand that part of you exists. It exists for a reason. It's there to protect you for something, and it doesn't have to drive the car. So you gain like this strength of being able to say, I see you, I accept you, because I know that you are good, even though it feels bad, or I've been told you are bad. And really, I appreciate you. And when the people around you are saying, I accept you and I appreciate you and I love you for how you are and I'm not judging you, you gain this like strength to be able to conquer those parts of yourself, because you say, I love you, I see you, you're not driving the car. I love you, I see you, you still can't wear that to school. I love you, I see you, we don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? There's this like good gvura chesed, like compassion that happens, you know? And I think that's really, really important. And I think in a classroom when people are overwhelmed, teachers are overwhelmed, they have so many kids and there's so many different learning styles. And it's like, if you just let them play, I mean, it's the fear that all hell's gonna break loose. You know, what kind of podcast is this?
This is a carpool friendly podcast, but I think that's in my vocabulary. That's fine.
Bleep. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I want to come back to your original question, where is the intersection of Yiddishkeit
Judaism
and creativity, of Judaism and creativity? I think we haven't solved the problem in our conversation, but I do think we have some.
We're not solving problems, we're playing. It's not about results.
We're just playing.
We're just playing. Yeah, really, that's what this is. It's just a conversation. It's not about results. It's not about coming to a conclusion.
But look at us. I want results, man. I want to see change. I want to see the creativity
But the
in
change
Judaism.
is in the play, as you're saying.
Yeah.
The change is in the play.
Yeah, it is.
If it's all just about, I mean, these girls they get a year, which is not a long time. They get a year to.
To them, it's a long time. But yeah.
Sure. but to play in the mud and to, like, it's not due at the end of the week. It's not due at the end of the month. It just results. Yeah, you're gonna take time to.
Yeah, to really like chew on
to
something.
To get it wrong until you get it right. And then maybe you don't. It's not about getting it right. Oh, I've arrived. It's that journey, and at the end of the year, that's where they're up to.
You know how when you were a kid, you thought you'd be an adult, and then you just get there.
No.
You never had that
feeling? I never
feeling?
thought I'd grow up.
Really?
Yeah.
You weren't like just like, oh, I'll be an adult, then I'll get to eat whatever I want, then I'll get to drive, then I'll get to make all the choices.
No.
Then I'll be there. I don't know. I had that opinion.
My mom was a hippie. I was
lucky.
Kind of did not whatever I wanted, but yeah, I was a wild child. There weren't many rules that I.
Yeah, same. Same.
So I was thinking, what do you think your journey would be if you had been a student of Tzohar?
I know.
A long time ago.
I always say, I'm like, I wish Tzohar existed when I was becoming from. So they do The Artist's Way. It's a book by Julie Cameron, and they do morning pages. So if I'm gonna like give myself advice, myself at 20, what would have been something I probably needed? More journaling, more tolerating the feelings of discomfort of like, whatever my life taught me. That's for another time. But being able to like just be okay, know that I'm going to be okay, even though things are hard or painful, and to do it anyway. And so the journaling is like just a place to like put the frustration and put the sadness and put the, and just, it lives there. It doesn't have to live in me all the time. That would have been one thing. The second thing is more teachers that asked me, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? How are you feeling today?
Right.
What's going on with you? Like more, yeah.
Compassion? It's more than just compassion.
It's more than just compassion. I think it's a genuine interest in
the individual,
the other person.
Yeah, recognizing the individual.
Yeah. Which I think, again, I think Tzohar's great at it. That's why the girls are so happy. We really do have a lot of great results. And it's not for everybody. It really is not for everybody. And the interview process is kind of rigorous because at this point, they know what kind of girl will succeed. They know what they're looking for. And a lot of girls know I'm a Tzohar girl. Except we're not in Israel, so that's the only thing. People are like, I want to go to Israel. We do spend a month in Israel, just saying. But anyway, back to your question. What else would I have needed? Oh, I mean, what if Machon Chana had an art class?
I'm kind of surprised. I thought.
I don't know what they're
Chana-
at now.
Yeah.
Maybe now they do.
Yeah, no, it's.
Yeah.
The Rebbe celebrated creatives. The Rebbe celebrated.
Yes, so many letters of artists and creatives. Yes.
Yeah, and there's.
Yes.
All that sloppiness to it.
I think
intended sloppiness. Like it's just part of the.
It's part of the process.
It's part of the process. A story that I live with, that I love, that I just heard like a new interpretation that is so profound is the story of Reb Zusha and Reb Elimelech. Two brothers, two great Hasidic masters, traveling somewhere, and they got arrested because they didn't have the right papers and whatever, and they got thrown into jail. You familiar with this story?
I think so. The dancing.
And so they're there, fine, they're overnight, the end. But the morning comes and it's time to daven, and they're in a cell with a whole bunch of Russian drunks, Russian peasants, and they realize they can't daven because there's a bucket in the corner. A bucket because there's no bathroom, there's just a bucket in the corner. And Shulchan Aruch, Jewish law is, and they were very much followers of Jewish law, is that when in the presence of certain things, certain foul smells, you cannot pray. And so, Rebbe Elimelech got all upset and all down and all, melancholy that, not that he's stuck in jail, but that he's stuck in jail and therefore he's with this and therefore he can't pray, he can't daven. And Rebbe Elimelech got all excited. He says, what are you getting excited about? He says, the same Shulchan Aruch, the same book that says you must pray, says in the presence of certain things, you're not allowed to pray. So today we're gonna celebrate our relationship with God by not praying. And that was just so mind-blowing that they started dancing. And then all the peasants got involved. What are you dancing about? They just got involved. Like, there's some fun going on. And the warden comes, what are you dancing about? To the bucket. They're dancing about the bucket? I'll just take it out of here. So they removed the source of the joy, and then they could go pray. And so to me, it was always about, you can serve God, like this, and you can serve God like that, and you can serve. And the way it was framed by Eli Nash on his podcast, and I'm a huge fan of that podcast, is that sometimes you have to slow down. And you're running and you're running and you're running. Is there a bucket that you can't just keep it, results. We've got to pray, you got to do. Sometimes there's a bucket that doesn't allow you to. Again, it's a little slightly different in how I heard it, but I'm drawing a parallel. I'm just thinking about it out loud. That it's not just about results. It's not just about, okay, you got to daven, and then, there's a bucket. No, you're not allowed to daven. It's a pause. It's like, no, like you gotta. Sometimes it's not about just, Sometimes there's a bucket in the room, and you have to slow down. You have to stop. You have to. The whole creativity, the whole
Keep talking.
Playing. The idea of playing, that it's not, you're not only have a result to it. I know the parallel isn't 100% there, but this idea that there's alternatives. There's alternative methodologies. There's alternative ways to serving God. You can serve God with the bucket, through the bucket. You didn't put it there. You don't want it there necessarily, but sometimes there's a bucket and you have to find a different way of dealing with it.
I think.
And so it's not like.
Let's imagine the bucket is something inside of you.
Right.
It's like something ugly and bad inside of you. And you have it there. So you have to find ways to serve God with that bucket there.
Yeah.
And everybody's bucket looks a little different and holds different things, let's say, but it's there. And you have to, and everybody's trying to maneuver around it instead of celebrating it, saying it's there, it's there. And so I get to serve Hashem in a different way because he gave me this bucket full of whatever is in it that's yuck that I have to deal with. Everybody's carrying that bucket.
And that's, and the lesson of the story is that you can serve God with the bucket and it'll look different to each person. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I love that. That's beautiful. And I think it's a matter of acceptance and compassion again, and also having, I think the thing about asking another person, how are you feeling? What does that mean to you? You're opening yourself up to their bucket. You know what I'm saying? Because they could say, actually, it's terrible and I'm going through this horrible thing right now. And then you're like, you know, you can have your own, I don't want to know about your bucket.
Right.
But then if you're really willing to take the perspective of another person and to empathize and to be with them and say, wow, your bucket that is quite the bucket, man. And look at you still dancing. Hey, let's dance together,
Right.
even though you have this bucket. I guess this metaphor is getting like, I don't want it to get too, because I think it is so meaningful, because we can just accept the fact that all of us are carrying something difficult, and all of us are struggling, and all of us are really, because it is olam hasheker, and there is duality, and it's like when we're trying to get this integration, and it's so hard, and it's so constant, and there's no end, you know, but we can really help each other. We can really help each other.
And it's less formulaic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, there's no one right answer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is what art is, that it's not, this is the only way to serve God. You know, get rid of the bucket and serve God. You know, serve God with the bucket. Find your ways. And so now you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. God doesn't want you to just power ahead. He wants you to work with the bucket, work with your bucket, work with your, you know, and find a way to serve God with that and through that.
I wonder what we could do to help, you know, our high school, post-high school students, our pre-marriage generation, to celebrate their unique way of serving Hashem, and then celebrating each other's unique way of serving Hashem, so that when we see something that feels wrong or off or bad, we don't judge it. We don't say, ick, get out of here, you can't be part of us. We say, you know, tell me more about what that is, and tell me more about your relationship. And, you know, being part of a large community and seeing all the spectrum of practice, you know, it's like we can understand that there are so many people who are serving Hashem in so many different ways, better than we are in some ways, and we're better than them in some ways. I mean more committed to a certain practice. But that doesn't mean that one practice is more important than another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we have to.
And it's that it's less formulaic, that it's less, you know, there isn't only one road, there isn't only one way of doing things. And I remember going to Israel and just seeing how so many different kind of people are serving God in their own way. And I was like, wow, you know, we don't have all the answers for everyone all the time. It's like everyone's, you know, but the one thing is that I think the fundamental is that as long as we're serving God, we're in the effort of serving God, attempting to serve God. You know?
And the assumption is that everybody is.
Yeah.
That's it. And
then you know, the addition to that is Mrs. Miriam Rhodes, which is, I mean, she's, you know, the grandmother of Lubavitch these days. But her story is that she went off on her journey and she went to all Avodah Zaras, and she went to all the Far East and tried everything in her search for meaning, and eventually found Judaism and found Chabad and so on. And years later, she wrote to the Rebbe, like she was crying for her soul, saying that I've dragged my soul through all this mud, through so many buckets. And how am I going to do tshuva? How am I going to clean my soul of all these places that I've taken it to? And what the Rebbe wrote was, each one of these was a step on your journey towards Judaism. So each one of these stops in itself was serving God in a very, 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 what's the right word? It's a sensitive thing to say. You have to say an edel way of putting it. It's not serving, you know, going to Buddhism is not Judaism, but it was on her journey towards. And so she took her bucket from place to place until she found her Judaism.
Yeah. I mean, for Jews, yes. For Jews, the ultimate is to find a place where you can put the bucket away and daven, right? Where you're not carrying it. Well, you're still, I don't know. But that you figure out that Yiddishkeit is the end goal. What about the people that don't, you know? I wonder. about the people that don't, and that, you know, are they still serving Hashem? And
Yes,
we say that every Jew is like full like a
yes,
pomegranate.
yes. We.
Do you know what I mean?
God has so much more patience than religious Jews do about God. You know. Yeah,
it's his fault. He made us finite.
Yeah,
so you know, I don't.
No, another story is this Hasidic rabbi who starved himself and was very hard on his physical body and deprived himself of all luxuries, and he got sick. And at the end of his life, I mean, he wasn't a healthy man, and he got sick, and he said, you know, if only I had eaten healthy, eaten well, so that I would be able to put on tefillin for another day. But then he said, the solution is, okay, just take care of your body. So you want it. But he's like, no, it took a lifetime of starving his body to recognize the power of putting on tefillin for another day that he should have, you know. So you need that dichotomy. You need both, you know. Only he came to that realization, you know.
I think about this, okay? Let me throw something else. I know we're almost out of time, but I've been thinking about this idea of the dichotomy creates the resistance, creates the struggle, creates the joy of overcoming the struggle, right?
Yeah.
And when Mashiach comes, that struggle's no more.
Yeah.
And I wonder, and I know there are Maimarim where it talks about how we will miss these times. And there are times when I am like I cannot. I was like, if you don't bring Mashiach, I don't know. I don't know that I can keep on in this way, right? So like I see both sides, but I also like appreciate the struggle and appreciate the idea that you can come to the understanding that the body is the ultimate. The body is the reason we're here. We're down here to refine this
space,
this space, this time, this physical everything, and it's such a miraculous thing that the spiritual and the physical are becoming one. It's miraculous. So when you create something with your knowledge of Torah and you're trying to put it into a physical thing, you know, and you get to the end and you can show somebody. And they can be, wow, that's moving. You've touched my soul. I feel that in my soul. You've taken something spiritual, brought it into the physical, and put it back into the spiritual. I mean, that is like some crazy gymnastics right there, you know. Yeah. And I'm just like, I wonder what Mashiach's going to be like.
And all that cannot happen without the struggle.
The struggle's everything.
The struggle's everything. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
No, I don't know how old your oldest children are.
My daughter's 22.
Right. So the older ones, thank God I haven't had great teenagers.
Yeah.
But you remember the struggle of the diapers and the this and that and all the sleepless nights and the throwing up and that's all a struggle. But then you look at the end, it's like you're like almost we missed the struggle. Like for the first summer, all the kids are out of the house and it's like it's just my wife and I. It's like it's quiet. It's
tell you,
I missed that struggle.
Yeah, I hear that. I miss. I'll tell you though, I will say that I'm doing so much repair with my kids now, because I was still in that mindset, you know, of like, I have to do it the right way. I have to be good. I have to do it right. And I imposed that on them for a long time. And then I just realized like, this isn't working. It's just not working. But I did all that. I don't want to say damage, but I wasn't listening for so long that now I'm just coming back and I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? What's going on with you? You know, tell me about you. And it's been really powerful to get to know my children and get to know them and listen to the things that hurt and tolerate it, you know, and being able to
just sit with it.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, and I'm slowly getting better and better at it because they need the space to say that hurt me, and I have to say, yeah, that really hurt you. I hear you. And I think that has been doing a ton of good repair. And I think, again, like anytime you have an opportunity to slow down, to listen inside, to listen to the people you love, to listen to, people you trust, and even people you don't, and figure out what that means for you. But like you slow down and you you get like the taste of Mashiach is like, we're just going to enjoy. We're just going to enjoy God, enjoy each other. Yeah. And that feels good. So like, although I love the struggle, I will say like the repair and the coming together and coming to understanding is also really beautiful. So I'm excited for that.
Amazing. Nechama, thank you.
Man, thanks.
This is good. We should keep going. There's more film on the camera. We can,
I have to go. I have to eat. But yeah,
so
thank you.
Thank you for this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come to Pittsburgh. So I'm going to come visit Tzohar.
We're going to collaborate. We're going to do a collaboration, Tzohar Moli collaboration.
Yes, please.
So excited.
So we close up with two questions.
Okay.
Two scripted questions.
Okay, let's hear.
Question number one is, who are 3 creatives or any number of creatives you think that the audience should know about?
I'm gonna challenge your audience to ask themselves in what way they are creative. You're listening. You got to the end of the podcast. So now I want you to sit with yourself and be like, where do I express myself? Where do I play? Where do I create in my life? And where can I add more of it? So you get to be the creative. You're the creative. I mean, I've seen so many beautiful, creative women come through Tzohar. It would be hard to choose. And I do think every human being has the capacity for creativity. And the worst is when they say, I'm not creative. And I'm like, dude, everyone is creative. Everyone is. Everyone is. So just where's your creative capacity and how are you pushing the boundaries of that for yourself? So that's my answer.
All right. I like it. I'll take it. And the last question is, what's your advice for young creatives for them to find their orange socks?
Yeah. Orange socks. I think this is going to be hard, but I really do believe the dichotomy is a real thing. And that one of the things that we have to know about ourselves is that we have to get to know ourselves well so that we know what part of us is driving the car. And the more we understand that we have a choice about who drives the car, the more we can make choices for the holiness to drive the car. Like, am I making a choice now that's going to better my connection to others, to Hashem, to Torah? And you can make that decision. And it's so broad, it's so vast. There's so many languages, there's so many words, there's so many things you can say to deepen your relationships to yourself, to others, to the Torah. And there's almost no limit, right? And so because I think sometimes that rubs people wrong because they're like, that's not going to give me what I need. And just like, you got to trust that Hashem knows what you need. And you do. So that's one thing. And then if it's not coming from holiness, if it's coming from the negativity, if it's coming from the things that keep us stuck and survivalist and, like negative or whatever, then you have to just acknowledge and say, yeah, I hear you. You exist. That's just how it is. And you're not going to drive my car. That's it.
Okay. Nechama, thank you.
Cool, man. Thank you so much.
This is really
cool.
special.
All right, nice.
Thank you.
היום נעשה משהו בלתי נשכח